Welcome to the Maryland Court's video series on expungement. In certain cases, you may ask the court to expunge your criminal record. If the court grants your request, information about your case will be removed from court and law enforcement records. In this 6-part series, you'll learn about case types that may be eligible for expungement. This video only covers expungement eligibility in cases that ended with probation before judgment. If your case had a different outcome, see the other videos in this series. You can find your case disposition or status on your court paperwork. This information is also available on Case Search at mdcourts.gov/casesearch. Please keep in mind, this series only covers the expungement of adult court and law enforcement records. It does not address juvenile records or records from other state agencies. You will be learning a lot of new information, so consider using the tip sheet and taking notes. You can find the link to the tip sheet on this video's webpage. Let's get started with our discussion on expunging records in cases that resulted in probation before judgment, also known as PBJ. The law on expungement of PBJ cases can be complicated. It's also a fairly common disposition. That's why we single it out for discussion in this video. A case that ends in PBJ may be eligible for expungement under certain conditions. The law gets tricky here. There are several exceptions that may make a PBJ case ineligible. Let's go over those now. For most PBJ cases, the court cannot expunge your case if, in the 3 years since the court entered a PBJ ruling, you were convicted of another crime. If you received a PBJ for driving under the influence of alcohol, or driving while impaired by alcohol, the court cannot expunge your record if you are convicted of a crime within the subsequent 15 years since the entry of the PBJ. The court also cannot grant expungement if you received probation before judgment for a violation of Section 21-902 of the Transportation Article in the 15 years since you received a PBJ for a DUI or DWI involving alcohol. A disposition of PBJ for driving while under the influence of drugs is not eligible for expungement. However, you can still request expungement if the PBJ or subsequent conviction was for conduct that is no longer a crime under Maryland law. Additionally, minor traffic offenses that don't involve jail time are not taken into consideration. Your PBJ case cannot be expunged if you are a defendant in a pending criminal case. Finally, you may have been charged with multiple criminal acts for the same event or incident. These charges are part of the same unit. If any charge in that unit is ineligible for expungement, then the PBJ charge is not eligible. Minor traffic offenses and possession of cannabis don't count. Let's do a final review of probation before judgment expungements. A case that ends in PBJ may be eligible for expungement, but there are some exceptions. Those exceptions include cases where you had a subsequent conviction or if you have a pending criminal case. For cases involving conduct that is no longer a crime, subsequent convictions do not affect eligibility to expunge your record. The final exception applies to cases in which another charge in the same unit is not eligible for expungement. One last thing. Before you ask the court to expunge your PBJ, be sure you know how long you must wait before submitting your petition. There is a required waiting period. Part 5 of the series explains when to file. Thanks for watching. I hope this video has been helpful.